How's it going, folks? This is the Q&A part 2. It is a little late on February the 2nd. Hope you guys are enjoying your new month of February. I'm so excited. It's actually going to be kind of a fun month for me. With that said, let's answer some questions asked by you folks. Continuing off the last one, we'll probably get around 10 or 20 questions in here. So Valeria asks, how did you meet Zeke? Did I say that right? How did you meet Zeke? So my parents needed to, so first of all, I actually had, the old family dog who died of cancer. And then, we were always thinking about getting another dog. And my parents were also wanting to get their family farm off the ground, so they wanted to get chickens and horses. And when you see the Zeke videos, you might see chickens or horses in the background. But they also wanted kind of like a watchdog or a guard dog, just so there's wild deer or coyotes wouldn't enter, because I do in my in the house I grew up in, we did live in the backwoods, so there was always wild animals kind of around, or they weren't around, but sometimes you would get deer going into your backyard and eating apples off an apple tree or something. So Zeke was important for them to actually make sure the chickens are protected and the horses are protected and the house is kind of watched over. And he was a sheepdog, and that's a good breed for that. He's a Maremma specifically. So he is a Maremma. People always ask what kind of breed is Zeke, and that is it. So Zeke is a Maremma, and that's how I met him. JB asks, is Zeke your stand? And if not, what would your stand's name and ability be? I don't know. I don't know what the reference is. That's a that's a JoJo thing, right? Stands? My persona or something? I don't know. I have no idea what this question is, but sure, he is, for sure. Sluffy G, how did you get good at analyzing characters, and what skills do you wish you had but can't seem to get good at? So I guess I got good at analyzing characters because I took sociology in university, and it was the first field of ologies. It was the first kind of liberal art, I guess, that really kind of connected with me. It's actually kind of the first major I actually went through with university that I didn't completely fail. I went on 2 victory laps in my undergrad. I was dumb as hell. I failed chem. I failed econ. I didn't fail econ, but I stopped doing econ. I'm hilarious. I am astoundingly bad at math. I am. Oh man, this is gonna be hilarious. So when you get your, if I remember correctly, when I went to university, they do a qualifier math exam, and they kind of place you wherever math level you're at for your class. And I failed it, and they put me in pre-cal, beginner pre-cal, things that grade 12 kids would do, and then beginner university students would do. I failed that. I failed stats. I failed chemistry. There was one memory that I have that I'm never going to forget, and it's when I was studying for a pre-cal final or a midterm, and this is when I was still playing basketball on the basketball team. And 2 of my friends who were on the team were not really the smartest guys, but math, they were geniuses, and they were trying to help me, and I was trying really, really hard to get these to pass. And I'm studying, and then I write the exam, and then one of our other friends asks hey, how do you think Keegan's gonna do on the exam? And the guy, my friend, told me that my teammate looked at him and said he's doing his best, but he's bound to fail. What did he say specifically? It was it was something he was bound to fail, or he's a lost cause, or something like that, or there's no hope for him or something. And lo and behold, I failed. So I ended up doing sociology, and a lot of sociology is a lot of writing. And so that's where I figured out how to actually learn to read and write critically. And it started with Azura pretty much, in that first support science I ever did. And it's just been kind of an upward kind of trend since then. I mean, I know I haven't done a support science in literally 8 months. Lynn was the last one, and that was a really happy video for me. But Analyzing's hard, man, and like it's whenever I look back at my old videos, I always like I'm actually like worried of like looking back at like the Camilla and the Azure one and that kind of thing, because I know I've improved so much both in like my presentation, my writing, my video, my visuals and stuff. You just gotta like know that you're good at it, or not even. You just have to have confidence in your writing, I guess, and then just like be always willing to improve and like reach out to people who are like way smarter than you, like. My team of support science like writers is like me, 3 other people. Sometimes there's a 4th guy, but it's like me kind of like throwing out all these ideas or like writing my stuff, and they always like criticize it and like help me refine it and stuff. And they always, maybe they'll agree or disagree with me, but they're always gonna like try to challenge me on what my arguments are, or sometimes they'll contribute to their own like thoughts and perspectives on it, and it will all kind of like work together. So the support science isn't just like a solo act. It's kind of like facilitated by me, and I write like 99% of it, but like their contributions really like make sure that the scripting is like really good. Like the series would be not what it is without those guys' help. So I would say don't try to make it a solo act, and like if you're willing to learn and get your writing like shit on, talk to someone. What skills do you wish you had but can't seem to get good at? I'm learning how to play guitar now, so that's gonna be fun. Reed Umeneko, you cowards, asks, if you were in a room with Count Varley, Thalis, was that Thalis? I think that's how they say it, and Manfroy, and you had a gun with only 2 bullets, who would you shoot? Would you shoot Count Varley twice? Real question. Despite it has only 2 supports, what do you think of Yuritsa as a character? I don't know. I don't even remember like what his supports are really about. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really give you an answer. He seems okay, I guess. Kevin Lamb, have you played any more Ring Fit Adventure? If so, what has your opinion on it changed? I actually haven't played it since like the first time I did play it. My opinion hasn't changed. I still really want to play it, but like I work out almost every day, and like I don't know how I'm supposed to fit like everything that I'm doing plus like a Ring Fit workout. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Zexrom 12 asks, is there any other games you like that you have considered doing videos on, and if so, will they be games similar to FE, like SRPGs, or possibly something in a different genre? And if you see this, hope you're having a good day and keep up the good work. Thank you. So I don't know if I want to make videos on it, but like I really want to play Trials of Mana, which is coming out like in March, I think, or April, because I loved Seiken Densetsu 3. Like that was like one of my favorite games growing up ever. There's a bunch of games that I want to like play casually, even if I'm just like streaming on YouTube, just kind of like playing whatever game I feel like. I have kind of like a kind of not like a wish list, but like a list of games that I want to like go back to, not necessarily like make content on it, but like streaming it just for shits. Like that'd be pretty cool. Like streaming Shining Force 2 just for like the fuck of it would be like pretty sweet. Or like Trials of Mana, or I don't know, like even some like really out there games that I've always wanted to try, but like I want to play Doom Eternal and Doom because like my parents wouldn't let me play shooters growing up, but I didn't tell my parents that like Resident Evil 4 was like a scary game or like a gun game. They never found out. I was very secret about that game. Even when they were like watching in the same room, I would like kick my feet up, like cross them over, like, and like kind of lean back just to make sure they wouldn't see like my tiny little tube TV. Oh man, those are the days. Man, Resident Evil 4 was sick. Like, even playing that again just because like I unlocked literally everything in that game. Oh, that was a great one. Gustavo, tell us, what were your initial thoughts and reactions when playing through Bloodlines route? Did they grow? Did they grew or change over time? I was really impressed with Bloodlines, and I really liked Dimitri. I tweeted that like he was like one of my favorite lords, if not my favorite now, behind Hector. But I think it was either he was my favorite or my second favorite. But he climbed up really fast. Now that I'm actually like really freshly playing through it with like a hacked switch, so I can jump through any character or any like story conversation I want. My feelings haven't really changed. Like my initial thoughts, now that I'm understanding more of like Cornelia and more of like, you know, Faerghast as like how it gone from like point A to point B, and then like how everyone reacts to Dimitri's kind of like downward spiral, then like ascension or redemption or whatever. I think it's just getting more kind of refined and detailed, just because I do want to make that support science on Dimitri TM. I don't know when it's ever going to come out, but there is going to be other supports with, I think he has a support with Yuri. So we'll have to see when that comes out. But yeah, it's just, I liked it when I played it. I enjoyed it. Now I still like it, even though I'm like replaying it for like the third time and like really putting a microscope over it. Aurora Borealis. Are there any Fire Emblem characters besides Garrick who we've already cosplayed you would consider cosplaying in the future? I'm definitely not thinking about Dimitri in the war phase. The Fifth Will. The Fifth Will asks, any particular reason why you changed your name to Faerghast? Nice. Neko Blue. How do you feel about the divide between Edelgard and Dimitri fans within the community, and what's your stance? He also says, personally, I enjoy both of their characters and don't think either of them with Byleth by their side are all the more right or wrong than the other. Well, geez, I haven't played Black Eagles in a long time. I just like find it really hard to like sympathize with Edelgard. I feel like the game needed to do like kind of more for me to like really put out that like the church, not necessarily like the church is bad, but like the whole like crest thing is worse than it is. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like locked behind, and like a lot of it's really like they're just telling you what happens and why the crests are bad, and you don't really get like like a straight up like this is what's happening because of the crests like to Edelgard or whatever. It's just like a bunch of things that you hear from other characters or from herself, which kind of takes me out of it because like everyone is like really against Edelgard when you like are doing her route, or like when you're playing as Byleth in Edelgard's route and you're having like these battle quotes with like your former students and stuff, and they're like really mad at you. Like Ingrid calls you a traitor, like Leonie's like calling you like she's super feels betrayed because you're siding with people who are affiliated with your father's killer. Like a lot of it's like really hard to like sympathize, and it makes you feel like really bad. I don't know. It's just hard for me to like get behind Edelgard. I know like Lin King is like super all about Edelgard, and like he's a super hardcore like Edelgard defender. But I feel like Dimitri's way, like, first of all, you can back Dimitri way more. His story seems a lot more like put together than hers. And I feel like there's kind of more to like look into Dimitri than with Edelgard. Now, I kind of like, I'm not really super a fan of people who like take Dimitri and they like, I don't want to say like romanticize his character, but like they like, I don't know. Maybe they like, I guess the question is like they over like sympathize, or they over empathize with him when like the reality is that like he is someone who's like trying to atone, which is a bad thing. Like if you're trying to atone, like you probably fucked up pretty bad in the past. So I think like they're both challenging characters to kind of like side with for me. But if I had to pick, I would say like I'm more leaning towards Dimitri, if that makes sense. Hopefully I don't like piss people off with that answer. Mr. 96, did you think that Yuritsa was a positive addition to Crimson Flower? Sure. Yes, I think so. Rainier Dan Redondo, I think I'm pronouncing that right. What is your disposition on the casual versus elitist fiasco of today, memes included? Is that still a thing? Is that still happening? I feel like that's like I don't know, maybe I'm just like in my own Twitter bubble, but like I feel like the casual versus like elitist argument like hasn't been really a thing since like I don't know, like when was Awakening out? 2013? Like maybe like 5 years ago? Funhow asks, can you eat a sandwich? I did not have a sandwich today. I had bread though. Neil Logtenberg, have you ever played the Fire Emblem hack The Last Promise? Not fully. If so, what are your opinions regarding it? I love the content. Doing us Canadians proud. Thanks, boss. It's a hack. It exists, and it's a hack so far. Mega Man 029. How far are we going here? We're at 18 minutes. Okay. What are your general thoughts on maddening mode 3 houses? I think when it's like, I think it's good if they got rid of the ambush spawns. Like literally, I think it's a good mode if they didn't have that. Like if they just, okay, you can have ambush spawns. I would very much advise against it. But like, if you made these levels without them, and you have like mechanics in which like you can have similar styled reinforcements that aren't like that don't spawn on that enemy phase's like beginning of their turn or whatever, like you clearly understand like ambush spawns are bad. So my question is like, why do you still do it? I don't know. It's like these designers know what they're doing. I just don't understand like why they want to have to like, I just don't get it. Like you guys made good maps. Just stop doing that dumb shit. Like make maddening challenging without being unfair. Like it's not hard. Like coming from someone who designs maps, like it's not hard to do. Like you have the equation, man. Like just come on. Pippin the Mighty. How would you feel if the next installment of Fire Emblem went back to the GBA style of gameplay, but with fully animated-esque graphics? GBA style of gameplay is like super archaic to me. Like, GBA style was like super like reductive. A lot of the mechanics from like FE6, 7, and 8 like stripped away what like FE4 and 5 tried to do and like really like made it super simple. Like honestly, the mechanics in GBA are like really, really bare bones. And I would not want to go back to that because GBA style of gameplay was very, very, very enemy phase specific. Like you threw a character down and they just fucking went to town on like literally half an army. It's pretty brainless, honestly. Like it's not very difficult at all. In terms of like official Fire Emblem, like you can get pretty crazy with like ROM hacks these days with GBA style, but, I definitely would rather have like 3D like Fates gameplay or like Three Houses gameplay. I don't know. Or even like, yeah, I don't know what you mean by GBA style, but when I think of GBA style of gameplay, I mean like you have like a very bare bones system and like you're soloing like half a map with like one unit because like fighters are still shit. Axe users are everywhere. I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't know. I mean, if they had cool ass graphics, like if they had like GBA style graphics, that'd be sick. Like Tearing Saga, I think is way more memorable because it didn't try to go for like 3D, like really gross graphics. They just went with like really awesome 2D stuff. And I really think it like was for their benefit. Pop Snack. What is Bloodlines? Bloodlines is my ROM hack for FE7 that I've been designing and making since like 2013. I'm still working on it. Got some updates here and there, but yeah, it's inspired by Shining Force, so there's lots of demi-humans in there. Polybius 32. What's your favorite Fire Emblem child unit as a character? Child unit. I have no idea. Cool dude, what is your opinion on Byleth and avatars in general? This is gonna be the last question of the day. So, what's my opinion on Byleth? As an avatar in the game, I don't think Byleth is that bad in the school phase. A lot of their contributions are pretty nice. I mean, like when you think of it, like they might be kind of silent and like emotionless, but like their emotionless is actually kind of like a story point. Like there's a reason why they are like very silent, and it's nice to see kind of the main lords like recognize, hey, Dimitri, or hey, like Byleth is starting to kind of like turn around and become kind of a funner person. Yeah, I mean, when you spend like 6 months or whatever, like half a year, like with this professor, then like, yeah, of course, like they're gonna start warming up to you, and like you can see like a nice positive progression with Byleth like in the school phase, but it's just in the war phase where I feel like this like their relevance really gets kind of forced, I guess, like specifically like with Bloodlines, because I just finished playing that one again, or I'm going through it. I just didn't really feel like Byleth really did a lot for Dimitri's growth. And they kind of shoehorned it in there because they had to. I feel like Dimitri needed to rely more on other people versus someone who like doesn't really contribute to a lot of like the reining in that like Rodrigue asked them to. Like he's like, try to rein in Dimitri when he goes bananas, and she's like, okay, and then the reining in is literally just like, let's all settle down. Like that's not really that impressive or like that really meaningful. Where on the other hand, you have people who like know him really well and have different opinions on him, like Felix, or Ingrid, or Sylvain, or Dedu. Like these people are very important towards his development. And I know there's like kind of an aspect of like Dedu maybe or may not being there. Sylvain and Ingrid, like if you don't have them in your party, they won't really be able to say anything. It would be cool if like Felix had more of a role to play. I wonder if Felix dies in Classic in Bloodlines, if he has that moment in the story in the Great Bridge of Mirrodin, that cutscene. I don't know. I'll have to check because I'm actually curious about that. I just find like Byleth isn't super important in the war phase, and they want them to be important. Now, granted, I haven't played Crimson Rose more than once. I haven't played Verdant Wind more than once, and I haven't even played Church yet. So I only really have kind of one perspective on the story out of 4 of them that I'm really confident in. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, so folks, we're going to end it there. It's been about like 25 minutes, and hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. If you did, please leave a like and comment and let me know what you think of my answers, I guess. Anyways, folks, hope you enjoy your upcoming week of February, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.